God bless everybody. Today it is May 26th of 2024. There has been a bombing in the last few days in Istanbul, and no one is reporting on it. I'm not seeing there's just no information out here, guys. This could escalate, and we're not sure who's involved exactly, but there was a large skirmish in Istanbul in this cafe, and so we don't know exactly what's going on. There's very little information going on to tell us what's happening here. But let's look at what we do know. There's 3 killed, 5 wounded in the armed clash in Turkey's Istanbul. 3 people were killed and 5 others injured on Thursday in an armed clash between 2 groups in Turkey's largest city. Istanbul's governor's office said in a press release that the confrontation originated at a cafe in the bustling I can't say that district in Asian side of the city at around 8 p.m. local time. This dispute between the 2 groups escalated into armed clash, the press release added. 2 of the wounded are in critical condition, and the office added that the investigation into the incident is underway. Turkish television news channel reported the number of people involved were to be about 40. That's quite a few. Several video footages circulating on social media platforms show policemen shutting off the street to enhance security measures while investigation units conduct their examination. Now, this could be a problem depending on if this is a Kurdish attack that might have happened in the city against a very specific group of people, which we don't know who that might be. Why were they having this clash and what was the reason for it? But this is fairly unusual to have this happen in Turkey, and it was a fairly large clash with 40 people, and so it wasn't just just a couple people. This was a fairly large event that went off here. So if you go to the Syrian live maps and look at Turkey, it gives you everything that's going on somewhat in real time. They haven't updated in the last few days, probably due to the weekend, but that will update in the next couple days once we get through the weekend, I'm guessing, and this will start to add quite a bit of content out here. But just in the last week or so, we've had a ramping up of multiple different attacks and things like this, and so we need to keep an eye on Turkey because Turkey's getting ready to do an invasion. Now, I've talked about this for some time. See, he's attacking this area around Erbil, which is Gaugamela. He's softening up this front here so that they can come down and secure all this, and he has hundreds of bases in Iraq and Syria, and so it is what it is, and people need to understand how this could penetrate soon. This invasion is going to happen. He is ramping up his attacks to soften up these areas so when the military come in, he doesn't have to think too hard about this. This is where the attack of the 40 man attack on Istanbul happened. You can come in and look at all these things. Also, this area here to me is extremely important. They're bombing this area here around Manbiji and this other area around Apello, I believe. Yeah, Apello government. And then look at this. This is going to be the route that Turkey comes down through an invasion, at least into Syria, into Gaza, okay? So this area here, if you go to a world map, actually is owned by Turkey. And you can see that clearly on the map here. This is going to be his entry point into Syria, and then he's going to go down into Lebanon, into Tyre, okay? And then, like I say, if we pull this map up further, he'll end up skirting around Jerusalem and ending up in Gaza, and then Egypt will capitulate. Turkey will then come back around to Tyre, and then end up going to Erbil, Iraq, before the Kurds collapse down to Baghdad, and then over to Shush, Iran, where the Iranians and the Kurds will join. And as Daniel 8 prophecy indicates, Turkey would then, back from Gaza, Egypt area down here, they would come back to Tyre, okay, and then over to Gaugamela, down. They would force the Kurds to collapse down towards Baghdad, and then they would end up in Shush. And that is exactly the same process that happened back in Alexander the Great's time and will replay out, I believe, in the future. So another thing that we should be very concerned about right now is the ramp up and how the international community is going to take this ramp up of the Rafah attack that Israel's laying down on them, which is extremely harsh right now. But they have to do this. They can't get their hostages back. They're trying to do everything to eliminate this threat and this problem in the south. And we now have a escalation from Hamas because they have fired rockets into Tel Aviv the first time in like 4 months or so. So this is something that hasn't happened from the southern border. It's all been coming in from Lebanon, Golan Heights, West Bank, and surrounding areas around uh, even Iraq and especially Syria are affecting Israel quite a bit. But this is a new ramp up and a new attack that's just happened today, I believe. And so this is a massive escalation and will force Israel to go in and try to hunt down these cells and things like that, which is going to cause more friction in the community or the international community as the international courts are trying to go after Israel and some of their leadership like Netanyahu, which is pretty ludicrous since they're basically just trying to protect themselves against a genocidal group of people that are trying to eliminate this group of people completely called Israel. There's so much misinformation about how Israel is just a new nation and they don't really have the ability to own this land and everything. When you go into the Bible or anything, it clearly states this is God's land and he's given it to the Jews, and everybody's fighting back against this, and there's going to be judgment coming against Israel as well as all these nations that are attacking them at this very time. That judgment's going to be a sixth seal event, which is going to end up badly for the 10 radicalized Muslim nations that are attacking them through Ezekiel 38 and 39. You're getting ready to watch Turkey come down into Syria and Iraq, which is the start of a Daniel 8 effect. And you also have 2 Kings 24, 1 and 2, or generally 1 and 2. You can go into 2 Kings 24, read the whole chapter, and it will tell you about how Turkey is preparing to come in as 4 radicalized nations around Israel in the north and east are going to basically come in and do some type of invasion or major attack against them, which is talking about Hezbollah and their groups up north, which also do include Hamas. I believe there are some factions up there. So I just wanted to bring this information to your attention. I believe it's extremely important. This bombing in Istanbul is not being it's just not being documented, reported very well out here, and it will matter because every time something happens in Turkey, like a bombing, a major shooting like this where 40 people were involved or something like that happens, we see an escalation on the Turkish front against the Kurds. So we'll see if that happens. God bless. I just wanted to bring this information to you, and you all have a great Memorial Day weekend.